Let me read to you a passage from the 10th chapter of St. Luke's Gospel, verses 13 to 16. It's the Gospel for Friday of the 26th week in Ordinary Time. St. Luke writes, Jesus said to them, "Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would long ago have repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes. But it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the judgment than for you. And as for you, Capernaum, will you be exalted to heaven? You will go down to hell. Whoever listens to you listens to me, and whoever rejects you rejects me, and whoever rejects me rejects the one who sent me." That's from Luke chapter 10, verses 13 to 16. What does it suggest to us? Well, one of the signs of the seriousness with which religion has traditionally been viewed in human societies is the persecution which has visited those who are not, in the view of the prevailing authority, orthodox. When Christianity first came to the notice of the Roman Empire as a following, there was something about it that those who represented the empire did not like. It was not just one more of the many religions of the peoples which the imperial administration tolerated for the sake of civil order and as a means of social and political unity. Christianity began to appear subversive, not in terms of ordinary crime, but in terms of its threat to the religious principles on which the empire rested. The empire would allow other religions, provided, of course, they did not pretend to challenge piety to the gods on which the empire depended. But this is what the Christian sect presumed to do. It had it that their Jesus was Lord, meaning Lord of all. All other religions were as nothing, indeed worse than nothing, if they were a barrier to the recognition of the full authority of Jesus Christ. All depended on him. Now this was intolerable, and the empire came down on it accordingly. The point, though, is that at least this showed that for Roman civilization, what you believed in religion was important. The gods of the empire mattered. Of course, the paganism of Roman civilization passed away and was replaced by the victorious Christian religion. But still, the instinctive sense continued on that what you believed in religion mattered enormously. The Catholic religion formed and, in a sense, even created European civilization, and its religion mattered. When the cataclysm of the Protestant Reformation occurred, religion was seen to matter on all sides. What you thought in respect to religion mattered, and your life was at risk if what you thought was at odds with the prevailing orthodoxy. Now, this is not to comment on the question of truth in religion. It is only to point out that generally in human culture and society, religion matters. It is very important that you see as being true what is true. If you do not, it is a morally serious matter. This is the human instinct, without going into the determination of what is actually true. Traditionally, there is no relativism there. In this sense, Christ's insistence on the great seriousness of faith is all of a piece with the natural instinct of man. It is most serious in Christ's teaching if you do not change and accept him for who he is. The truth about him just must be accepted, though of course you are free to refuse. But if you refuse, then it has enormous moral implications. So we read in today's gospel passage that I read earlier, Jesus said to them, "Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would long ago have repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes. But it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the judgment than for you. And as for you, Capernaum, will you be exalted to heaven? You will go down to hell. Luke chapter 10, verse 13 to 16. That was said during his public ministry. Risen from the dead and soon to ascend into heaven, his parting words are similar, as reported in the Gospel of St. Mark. Appearing to his disciples on the evening of the day he rose from the dead, he upbraided them for their lack of faith in the testimony of those who had seen him that day. So serious is what you believe. He then commands them to go to the whole world, to preach the good news to every creature. He who believes and is baptized will be saved, but he who does not believe will be condemned. Mark chapter 16, verse 16. This is no morally neutral matter. Now this is especially important for our day, in the era of human rights, when we all appreciate the right to religious freedom and conscientious belief. It is a great gain that we now understand that no religious belief can be imposed on another. And gradually the world is coming to see this due to pressure from Western culture, supported by Christian teaching on the dignity of the human being. But a new danger is well in place, that of thinking that right and true religious belief, like truth itself, just does not matter. Right belief, all that matters is that you be subjectively sincere, or rather that you think you are sincere. This philosophical assumption can undermine the teaching of Jesus Christ, that he who is the truth saves. I am the way, the truth, and the life, he taught. It is the acceptance of this and living life according to it which takes us to God and to heaven. Let us be alert to a serious enemy, the notion that there is no objective truth. All there is subjective opinion. Jesus Christ was not just a very nice man. He was not just a very understanding person who forgave everyone whatever bad things they might have done. There is no prophet in the history of Israel who spoke with such strident clarity about the fact, the evil, and the reality of sin and its terrible consequences in eternity. High among the sins vigorously condemned by Christ, and our gospel passage today is but one instance, is the deliberate refusal to accept him as Lord and his teachings as true. What you believe matters. It is imperative that you take pains to ensure that you believe what is the truth. Let us never settle for being merely a sincere person. We must be persons in possession of the truth.